Ladies and gentlemen of NASA, this is Charles Xavier. Help is on the way.
We're doing space missions now. Cool.
We get the astronauts, we bring them home. Go.
Heat signature's rising fast.
We gotta get out of here.
Where's Jean?
Where is she? Jean!
She should be dead.
Did you hear what the kids are calling you? Phoenix.
Hello, Jean.
Who are you?
The better question is, who are you?
Something's happening to me. When I lose control, bad things happen. But it feels good.
That power destroyed everything it ever came into contact with. Until you. The X-Men fear you. And what they fear,
We seek to destroy.
She'll kill us all.
The girl dies.
She's still our friend.
She's not Jean anymore.
Are you threatening me?
That's right.
That would be a bad idea.
Fans are experts, movie month. It's my 6th year doing movie month. 30 movies, 30 days, 30 podcasts that you get to listen to. Fans are experts, movie month. It's my 6th year doing movie month. 30 movies, 30 days, 30 podcasts that you get to listen to, including this one right here. But wait, one more time. Fans are experts, movie month. It's my 6th year doing movie month. 30 movies, 30 days, 30 podcasts that you have the pleasure of listening to. An episode is about to start right now. An episode is about to start right now. The theme song is fading out because an episode is starting.
Okay. Well, I can now officially say I've seen all the X-Men movies. I knew going in that this one was not supposed to be good. Kind of a box office bomb and really bad reviews, but when Movie Month started back in 2014, part of the goal was to catch up on movies that I've never seen and series that I've never completed. Prior to Movie Month, I only saw the first X-Men movie and X2, X-Men Part 2. I didn't see The Last Stand that nobody liked, any of the Wolverine movies, and the First Class movie that everyone loved. So, that all changed when Movie Month came to be. And I kept with it. I saw all the Wolverine movies, the bad ones and the good one. I saw the new X-Men movies, kind of the spin-offs, the good and great ones, and the bad and this one. Ladies and gentlemen, day 19, and here I am in my car after just seeing the latest X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix. Not X-Men : Dark Phoenix, not Dark Phoenix Origins of the X-Man or anything like that. At least in the United States, there is no use of the word X-Men in the title. They didn't even, in the credits, highlight the X in Dark Phoenix. I'm going to put my air conditioner on because it is muggy in here. And, okay, I just want to make sure the radio doesn't go. Whoa, what do we got? Oh, wait, maybe I should listen to this. Okay, I'm going to turn that down. This is the first X-Men movie I've ever seen in the theater. It is the only X-Men movie I've ever seen in the theater. It might be the last X-Men movie I ever see in the theater. The only reason I went to see it is because I have the movie pass. So, you know, it's already paid for. I can see a movie any day. It was between this and Godzilla, and I chose this. And I'm thinking Godzilla probably would have been more fun to see on a big screen. I didn't need to see this on the big screen, but I don't know. I was kind of weirdly anticipating it because I've heard so many bad things. You start to wonder, or at least when I go see a movie that I hear so many opinions about, you start to look for that. You know, so when I see a movie that's supposed to be really bad, and I'm not talking a movie that, like, is a cheese ball, bad premise, goofy idea that isn't well executed or anything like that. I'm talking about a movie that's supposed to be, you know, I guess the end of a major franchise, and it just, according to everyone, misses the mark. I'm interested to see how that happened, what that means. And, you know, it's like, it's never as bad as people say it is. So it's like, oh my God, the movie's supposed to be so bad. Oh, it did so bad. I wonder if the fact that it wasn't called X-Men Dark Phoenix hurt at all. It happened. You know, there were some things that I enjoyed. It just it wasn't very exciting. It was just kind of like, I texted my cousin, meh. And that's kind of how it was. I didn't roll my eyes going, oh my God, this is so stupid, like I did in Apocalypse. That villain in Apocalypse was awful. Olivia Munn posing in the Superman pose, whatever it is, the superhero pose, was awful. I disliked that. I know when I'm really disliking a movie, and I never felt that way about Dark Phoenix. You know, there are a couple times where I'm like, you know, they don't really have to give the old nod to each other when they save each other, turn around just in time to nod. And there are things that confuse the hell out of me. But I never thought, this is terrible, I hate this. I was just confused sometimes. So I've seen every X-Men movie. And, you know, I really liked First Class, and Days of Future Past was really good too. And I guess in Days of Future Past, they kind of reset the timeline. I have no recollection of this. There's a new timeline because, you know, I'm watching this going, well, the stakes are kind of low because we all know that, you know, Jennifer Lawrence is going to turn into Rebecca Romaine, and Sophie Turner is going to turn into Famke Janssen, and the kid from Ready Player One is going to turn into, what's his name, that guy who's in all kinds of stuff. You know, and so on and so forth. But apparently, and I did a little research afterwards, there was a change in everything because of what happened in Days of Future Past. You'd think I know that. You'd think I'd remember that. Especially since there was a movie after that too. But no, I tell you, I did not. Now, it was interesting seeing the opening scene of the 20th Century Fox opening. I thought it was going to say a Walt Disney Company. That would have been just wild. Because Disney now owns 20th Century Fox, and they own Marvel, and now they own the X-Men. What does that mean? Does that mean that we'll see a reboot of the X-Men eventually, done in, you know, the Marvel style with the Marvel Studios officially, not just in association with Marvel Studios? Is this really the end of the series? I kind of hope so. I mean, there's already been a reboot. We had X-Men 1, 2, and 3. And then we had, you know, you want to say the Wolverine movies, which felt like their own thing. And Then we had X-Men 4, 5, and 6, First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse. And this one's just called Dark Phoenix. And the fact that they didn't call it X-Men, I didn't know how many of these X-Men were going to be in it, but it was just a regular X-Men movie. It just so happened that the quote-unquote villain was Jean Grey, who got evil powers from some space dust that also killed an alien alien world. At the beginning of this movie, the X-Men are like cool superheroes. Everyone thinks they're celebrities. They go up and they save a bunch of astronauts in space. And who gets the award for it? But Professor X. James McAvoy, that's his name, right? Great actor, man. Between this and what he's done in those M. Night movies, awesome. And he's Scottish, and he can pull off any accent. Even he does a great Philly accent. Werder. So he's getting the awards while the X-Men are out there risking their lives. Jennifer Lawrence, what did they do? How much did they pay Jennifer Lawrence to put that blue makeup on one more time? She's like, I don't like this. We're risking ourselves. We should be off doing our own thing. I'm like, we're starting to see where she becomes a bad guy in the future and goes off and works for Ian McKellen, Magneto. I almost call him Magkellen. So they go up to space. Now there's this solar flare that isn't really a solar flare. It's just magic space dust of some sort, alien dust. I don't know. They get the aliens out. They get these astronauts out, but just in time before they do that, Sansa Stark is left behind, and the space dust goes right into her and explodes out. She saves everybody, but she almost dies. And they bring her back to Earth, and everyone's like, yay, you're heroes, yay. And they're like, this is great. Like, wow, your powers are really high now, Jean Grey. That's the same thing as Sansa Stark, same thing as Sophie Turner, same thing as Mrs. Jonas. Your powers are off the charts. She's like, wow, I feel great. I want to drink. I want to eat. I want to do so much. I want to make love to the dude in the goggles. And they're like, now let's go have a rager and partay outside in the woods. And I forget why, but all of a sudden her powers overload because she's drinking too much or something, and she passes out. They check on her. She's like, I'm fine. The movie actually starts with her as a kid, and she accidentally causes her parents' crash. They say the parents died in the accident, and that's when Charles X. Xavier takes her in. But it turns out, I'm just going to spoil the shit out of this. What do I care? Turns out her dad survived, and Charles blocked those memories off. And Jean Grey was able to find those memories now with her super duper powers, and searched her dad out. And then she blamed Charles for covering it up in the first place. She searched her dad out. Turns out her dad didn't want her. She gets all angry. The X-Men show up. They're like, come on, come home. There's a fight ensues. She beats up some cops. She throws Raven, who I thought her name was Mystique, but it's Raven first. I completely forgot about that. She throws Jennifer Lawrence, and who goes sliding, and then blood is all over her, and Jennifer Lawrence is dead. Now, so that's what Jennifer Lawrence is. She's there basically as the cameo to come in, die, not be in most of this movie. You're lucky you got me for this much. Now, here's where I got confused. Then Jean flies away, because she can fly, and this is where I'm like, oh my God, is there a different timeline? Because what happened to Rebecca Romijn? And isn't the end of X-Men Last Stand when kind of Famke Janssen, whatever the hell her name is, almost turns into the Dark Phoenix? This is where I'm like, they pulled the old Star Trek reboot of, whatever happened in those other movies, who gives a shit, Nobody cares. They never really happened, I guess. So I don't know what's up with Wolverine. It's crazy that these are in the same world as Deadpool. He has so much more fun. So she flies away, and then she's in the rain rubbing blood off her shirt. I'm like, where the hell did she get that blood? Is that supposed to be Jean Grey's blood? I'm sorry if I missed something, but wasn't she like 100 yards away from Jean Grey? Shoved her up against the wood? I didn't think she got up close with her. I'm literally watching this movie, and I don't remember that at all. So I was like, is that a goof? She shouldn't have her blood on her. she flies away to Mutant Island, where Magneto now lives, like it's Walking Dead, where they just have like old abandoned things that they just kind of make houses out of. She goes there. She's like, Magneto, I need your help. He's like, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm sorry. What are you doing here? She's like, I don't know what's going on with my powers. I thought maybe you'd help me. Oh, I don't want to help you. All of a sudden, I'm Australian. And then the army shows up because they tracked her or something. I don't know. The army shows up and she tries to kill the army. He tries to save the army. They show how strong they are. And she pushes him aside. Is like, I'm out of here. She flies away. At that same moment, the X-Men show up because Charles figured out where she was, I guess. They use their, first Beast shows up. He took the plane himself, Hank, because he loves Raven, Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence. So he wants revenge on Jean Grey. This is all happening. This is all the same movie. So he shows up in the ship and he's like, oh, Magneto, man, that's crazy. I got to do this for Raven. Why? Did Raven say something? Oh, you haven't heard? She killed Raven. What? And then the X-Men show up and they're like, yo, Charles, wait a minute. Did the X-Men show up with her? I don't remember if the X-Men showed up on the island. I think they were like, let's find her. And they track her down to this hotel where I want to say Jessica Chastain took her. We'll get there. And so at the meanwhile, the space goo was actually, something that destroyed an alien planet. And what we don't know until later on in the movie is that behind the X-Men ship, there was another spaceship just hanging out there. And they saw it all happen. They're like, whoa, this is the bad power. It went into that lady. Let's go find that lady. So these aliens come to Earth. They show up. They turn into Jessica Chastain and kill a bunch of people. And then she starts looking for Jean Grey because she wants to take her and harness her power. I don't know why she doesn't just kill her and try to take the power. I don't know. But she wants to use Jean Grey to, I guess, take over the world. And so then their people can start anew on Earth, I guess. That feels bigger, but it doesn't feel like this was that big. So she is at a cool hotel that she can show magic space rooms to Jean Grey and go, look at what you can do. And then the bad guys show up, the bad X-Men show up, Magneto, and they're like, we're here to kill her. And the good X-Men show up, and they're like, no, you can't kill her, we have to save her. And then a fight happens, and Subway gets pulled out of the Earth, and fighting and punching and laser shooting and metal and mind reading. And finally, Charles Xavier gets through to Jean Grey. He's like, remember, I've always been here for you. She's like, no, you have been. I don't want this power anymore. So she tries to give the power to the alien. But then Charles is like, wait a minute, you're going to kill us all. She's like, I don't care about aliens. Because even with all this craziness going on, you could just whisper and everyone will hear you. I don't care for your people. So then Charles is like, you have to fight it. Let go, let go. He lets go of her. And then all the cops show up and take the X-Men and put them on a train. All of them, including Jean Grey, who passed out. Now all the aliens show up and the cops are like, oh no, they're here to bust them out. They're like, no, they're not here to bust us out. They're here to kill us. You have to help us. So the cops are like, no, bang, bang, bang. And then the cops are like, oh shit, yes, let's release the X-Men and let's have a big fight on a train. And that's when a lot of the action happens. And Magneto's, making guns fly around and the aliens are showing up. And my favorite part, the one part of the movie where I went, oh, was Magneto. All these aliens were on a train car, and the next car over. Storm uses her storm powers to push them into the car, and Magneto takes the car and just flattens it. The whole train car gets flattened. That was the coolest part of the movie. And then Charles is like, you got to wake up, Jean Grey. You got to wake up. She's like, I know what I have to do now. I have to save my family. So she comes up with all her, she'll have the power in her. She takes, I keep wanting to say Bryce Dallas Howard, but Jessica Chastain fight. She starts killing all the aliens, like just turning them to dust because the train crashed and now they're on the ground. Jessica Chastain shows up, grabs her. Jean Grey's like, I'm not gonna let this happen or whatever. Flies her up into space, and then a big explosion. And for some reason, the explosion has a fire of a phoenix. Don't ask me why, because the movie's called Dark Phoenix. Is there a logical reason it happens? No. Did Jean Grey have a nickname before she was Jean Grey? Or was it just Dark Phoenix? I don't know. And I know Dark Phoenix is supposed to be an amazing comic book, like a classic comic book story arc. Sometimes these things work better in comic books, and they just didn't work turning it into a movie. So Jean Grey explodes. They're like, oh man, that's crazy. They changed the name to the Jean Grey School of Mutants or Exceptional Kids or whatever. Hank, I think, has taken over, and Hank is at his desk now because he's the head, I guess. Looks over on his desk, and there's the perfect publicity photo of Jennifer Lawrence in her X-Men suit with her blue skin. I actually laughed out loud and chuckled. It looked so corny. Like they just found a shot of her, put it in frame. There you go. This from the production stills. And then Charles Xavier is retired in France. But Magneto catches up with him at a little bistro, a little coffee shop, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play chess?" They're like, "Yeah, okay, cool." He goes, "There's a place you can go. You can come with me." So I think he was saying, "You can come live with me now." And then they zoom back, and then a phoenix flies through you see that the fire phoenix, because Jean Grey had a voiceover that she's still alive. There's still something out there. This isn't the end of the X-Men. This is the beginning. I'm okay with these actors. They're okay. Take these actors, get some Disney people in there, fix this, and have, X-Men Homecoming or something like that, and bring Deadpool in. I don't know. You could do something. This is I don't want to say the franchise is dead because this movie killed it, but there's still something there that could be mined, and Disney could just do. If you somehow, now that these Avengers are gone, if you could somehow pull out a way to bring the Fantastic Four and the X-Men into the Avengers world, and somehow pay friggin' Hugh Jackman a gazillion dollars to just do it one more time, then you could get a hit on your hands done right. Because you know what the Marvel movies do that this one doesn't do at all? It has fun. Okay, even these early X-Men movies had fun moments, mostly because of Quicksilver running really fast. In this movie, he does one little thing in a spaceship, gets hurt by an alien or something like that. Maybe he gets hurt in the spaceship. I don't know. He gets hurt by the Phoenix. Who gives a shit? He gets hurt in the first fight, and you never hear him again. I don't know. This kid's probably the most likable actor. They killed off Quicksilver in the friggin' Marvel universe because nobody gave a crap about him, and he was much better here in the X-Men universe, and they did nothing with him in this movie. There was no, put on your headphones, listen to some music, and run around really fast. I thought I saw a picture of him in a Rush shirt. I was hoping to see a Rush, montage of him running fast, doing something, and we didn't get that at all. I don't know if that's on the cutting room floor or what, but what a wasted opportunity. I know, yes, it's more of the same, but it makes for some lightheartedness in a movie that didn't have any. It just, like, even the Avengers movies, the darkest, everyone's dead, there's still funny moments. That's what makes these movies successful. The ones without any funny moments aren't, or the least amount of them, are the ones that are like, meh. These are freaking comic book characters. It's okay to have fun with them. I mean, they're ridiculous in the premise alone. So, they're supposed to be fun and entertaining. I mean, you could do it with a serious, tell a story too. I mean, we've seen that. But when you don't do that, when you don't have a very exciting villain, I know Jean Grey's supposed to be the villain, and Sophie Turner is always good to look at. She was like, every time she's on the screen, I'm like, she's a movie star. I enjoyed looking at her. I'm not going to lie about that. And she played it well, and she's a fine actress, but she wasn't the real villain. It was this space goo or space dust and the aliens with Jessica Chastain, and they were just like, we're just some aliens. I'm sure there's something in the Marvel universe. Also, I don't know if this was a nod to what was happening, but these soldiers came from the Mutant Containment Unit, and on their patches they had MCU, which of course the MCU is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I guess the X-Men are now joining. But the thing is, this movie was made, or shot over 2 years ago. There was like a reshot ending. This movie has been around for a while and just kind of been on the fence in the development phase, which just you never hear a movie that's been like being worked on for years and years and years, and then it comes out and it's like, wow, that's what took so long. That's what all these reshoots were. Magnificent. And yet I found one review. X-Men Dark Phoenix, which I guess is what it's called over in Europe because it's not called that here or in England. Spectacular finale is most mature franchise since Logan. How many movies have there been since Logan? One? What the hell? So this is from George Simpson over at the UK Express, the Daily Express, I think it's called, express.co.uk. X-Men Dark Phoenix movie review. Sophie Turner and an all-star cast defy the odds in an impressive finale for Fox X-Men franchise. Filmed 2 years ago, a couple of release date delays, and reshot third act, X-Men Dark Phoenix looked like it was doomed to fail from the start, and yet the end result couldn't be further from the truth. Fox's fourth X-Men prequel is a fitting end to the franchise, paying tribute to the best love entries and correcting previous mishaps. Dark Phoenix may be a direct sequel to X-Men Apocalypse, but it's also a remake of X-Men The Last Stand. The latter is based on the X-Men Dark Phoenix comic book storyline where Jean Grey loses control of her powers to a catastrophic event. However, 2006's Last Stand was a turkey and something X-Men producer and now director Simon Kinberg wanted to get right. So wait, he produced all those X-Men movies, he produced the third one, and he directed this one? I mean, obviously, you're not going to have what's-his-name back. He's too busy being a goddamn creep. Taking advantage of X-Men Days of Future Past, time travel, creating an alternative timeline, he moved Jean Grey's most famous storyline to a 1992 setting, following the previous prequels, traditional decade per movie, jump per movie. What? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, this took place in the 90s. So when I see, what's-his-name, Magneto, he was a child of the my God, I can't believe I'm even saying it. The friggin' Nazis and the internment camps. Holocaust. Originally. Now it's 1992 and he looks about 50 years old, which means he was born in 1942. So I don't know how that works. Maybe he actually looks good for his age and he's 60. I don't know. Because 1992, he's looks like fucking Michael Fassbender, and then you fast forward 7 years and he turns into Ian McKellen. That is a hard 7 years, especially to both of them. I know this is supposed to be a quote unquote reboot, but it doesn't change their friggin' faces and how they age. Ooh, I'm yelling too loud. I'm in a parking lot now. So yeah, this guy really liked the movie, and I understand why people didn't like it because it just wasn't. It just happened. It wasn't a swooping moment of whoa. There wasn't a thing like this is a lot of fun. There was one moment where Magneto smushed a train car. I was like, yeah, that was it. Apparently, I don't know enough about the X-Men to even know what the hell, about this the time jump. I didn't even realize that until killed off Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, I'm spoiling it for you, but who cares? It's already out. You haven't gone to see it. You're not going to go see it. Maybe you'll watch it on video, and you don't really care. So I'm going to go inside, Stop and Shop right now, and I'm going to get some slider buns because I have some sliders at home that I'd like to cook up, and I think this would be a nice way. I don't want to just do them and have regular bread. So I'm going to get some slider buns and go home and cook before the rain comes because it looks kind of rainy and cloudy. So ladies and gentlemen, I am done. Day 19 in the books. It's Wednesday. There's a good chance I might be back at the theater at the end of the week. We'll see. I might want to play at a theater. I'm just going to say that. Now, you know where to find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's Geek Mentality, both places. At Geek Mentality, all one word. That's where you can find tweets and Instagram pictures for every movie of every day of every movie I've ever seen for the last 6 years. And it's where you can follow me. And, sorry, I heard a car screeching. I thought I was going to get run over. I'm going into the market right now. So thank you guys for listening. The website is fansnotexperts.com. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. I'm talking into my phone right now because I forgot my recorder. Ladies and gentlemen, That's all I have to say. I'm going into Stop and Shop right now. I really don't want to record in Stop and Shop. You know what? Let's go in together. Let's see if we can find these slider buns. You know, I like to call myself the podcast that could happen anywhere. And right now it's going to happen inside Stop and Shop. Okay. You know, is there like any X-Men tie-in with, like, you know, merchandise? I don't see anything. Ooh, slush puppies. All right, you know what? I'm going over to the bread aisle right now, and I will get the, I will get some slider buns, hopefully. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know if I have to, you know, if they're like in the bakery or if they're in the bread aisle. I don't know. Okay, this is getting a little too loud. So, until tomorrow, I'm going to finish shopping. Thank you guys for listening. Ooh, ice cream. Okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted because that's what food does to me. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow. And here is my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Welcome. If you have your Stop and Shop card, please scan it now. $3.99. Place your item on the belt. $2.99. Scan coupon now. Please wait. System processing. Please follow the instructions on the pin pad. Please remember to take your receipt. Thank you for shopping at Stop and Shop.